Hello everybody, we just finished watching the 4th episode of the Chainsaw Man anime, and we've got some thoughts on it that we are going to speak of in the next, hopefully under 24 minutes, being this episode is like 24 minutes.
Yep.
I have Jaden here with me.
Yeah, that's me.
And like last time, we have Caleb.
Hey, what's going on?
So pretty much to get into the housekeeping stuff before we get started, of course, this anime is adapted from Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga Chainsaw Man, right? These chapters are in the 2nd volume of the manga, and the chapters that this episode covers are chapters 9 to 12, and pretty much a little bit into 12, but it sort of ends. I'll talk about it whenever we talk about it here later, right?
Yep.
The episode title is Rescue, being that people get rescued.
Yeah. They really are cranking out these chapters. I mean, 4 chapters an episode.
No, it's only 3.
3?
It's all of 9,
Oh,
all
okay.
of 10, all of 11, and like a tiny, like 2 pages of 12.
Yeah.
So from what it looks like, it's going to be about 3 chapters an episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being that the first episode is about 1 chapter,
Yeah.
right? That leaves us with about 34 chapters for this season, which will probably work sort of well, knowing what the opening sort of foreshadows and where the manga is. Probably will be about there.
All right.
Right. But let's get into the chapter proper. Of course, we'll go through all the the episode, everything that happened in the episode. And at the end, we'll talk about all of our thoughts. This episode does have some stuff that deviated from the manga a little bit. And we'll just talk about it.
All right.
You guys ready to get started?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty. So we open up this episode, or I should say last time, Denji had literally murdered the Bat Devil, right? And this episode, we sort of get a flashback to Power again, right? She was all dirty, running around, right? Killing cows, drinking their blood out of them.
A very strangely sensual scene of drinking out of a cow.
Very odd way of eating a cow, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to cut it up, get the meat, put it on the grill, not just drink his blood.
Oh, yeah.
We pretty much see that she goes back to like whenever she found Meowie, right? And how Meowie was her best friend, and then the Bat Devil's deal that she made, or that the Bat made.
And there was a power ass shot as well as she was running away.
Yeah.
Congratulations, right? And then we see this, and like Power needs to go find a human, so she's running into town, right? And she sort of comes to this realization of herself that like, for as good as Power is to eat, or as good as blood is to eat, Power's like, blood is very nice and warm too, right? We cut to her in the current timeline, right? She's alive in the Bat, and then as we see how she's sort of falling asleep with Meowie beside her in the Bat Devil, right? We cut and Power's just in Denji's arms, right? Her and her cat together, right? And Power's like, hey, why'd you save me? As Denji does probably my favorite part of the episode. He points at Power's chest, and then he makes a squeezing motion with his hand, right?
Very nice.
All silent, right? Power says, fine, you'll get some. And Denji's like, hell yeah! Right? As he like raises his arm up in like greatness, right? As his arm just gets blown off.
Yeah.
Right? And Denji's like, hell yeah, turns into like anguish. Ah, shit! It hurts! Ah! Right, and at this point we see this devil is the Leech Devil, and it picks up Denji's arm, swirls it around, and then eats it.
So before we continue, Caleb noticed a very peculiar design aspect of the Leech Devil.
Yeah, the little spaghetti nipples.
The spaghetti nipples that it has, yeah.
I mean, why not?
I mean, they got some strange designs in this, I'll give them that.
I mean, yeah, the devils are very nice.
That was for a reason.
I mean, yeah, there's some great designed devils in the later half, like some crazy ones I'm not going to spoil, yeah. But at this point, the opening plays. The opening, of course, is kicked back by Kinjiro Suda, right? I think everybody has expressed their opinion on the opening, so...
Yeah, it's very good.
I think it's great.
Yep.
I mean,
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a banging opening. I don't know what to say, right? So, back to the show itself, right? Denji asks Power if she can move, and she's like, I can't move whatsoever, right? And Denji's like, alrighty then, looks like we're gonna have to fight. As he pulls his ripcord, chainsaws don't come out of him like they normally do. We learned that he's lost too much blood, and just a tiny chainsaw, sort of like how Kuchita had a chainsaw coming out of the front of his head, right? Same thing sort of happens with Denji here, right? And pretty much the Leech Devil makes some notes about how it and the Bat Devil were engaged, right? Romantically intertwined, which I don't know about you, but great.
Yeah.
I totally wanted to know that, right? And pretty much Denji is like, well, looks like we're gonna have to fight or else my boobs are gonna be out of the picture. I need them, right? And at this point, we get a extended fight scene between the Bat and Denji and the Leech Devil.
I noticed that compared to the manga, it's a lot longer, I think.
But also, I think it works for what the medium they're trying to do.
This is a very, very good fight scene.
Yeah, it's very well animated. Denji's not having to be in CGI if his chainsaws, right?
Yep.
It's very cleanly done, very well choreographed. The environment plays into it. It's just a really good fight altogether.
Did y'all notice any CGI?
Not particularly.
Because I didn't. I didn't see any.
I don't think we really had any in this episode.
Exactly. So,
I mean, yeah, cars and that sort of thing, but like no direct CGI.
But the Leech Devil wasn't. She was hand animated, and so was Denji. All his fight scenes. Or if it was CG, I didn't notice it.
No, I mean, it looked very good, right? At this point, Power sort of realizes he's crazy. He's doing all this just to touch my breasts? What is this? Right? And Denji pretty much makes a proclamation of, I'm not dying until I cop a field, goddammit.
Yep.
Right? More of a fight between the two of them, right? The Leech is making remarks to Denji during all of this, and eventually Denji comes up with the idea of a dream battle. They'll fight for their dreams no matter what happens, right? Here, that's the whole idea there, right? And eventually they go to fight some more, right? And as Denji almost gets up there and like sticks his chainsaw right in the Leech Devil's head, right? The Leech Devil sticks out its tongue and just impales Denji through, right? At this point, we see a hand making a sort of motion that looks like a fox, right? As the word cone is spoken, kon, right? As the Fox Devil appears, eats the Leech Devil, and we see that this is Aki's devil contract.
I didn't even realize that he makes a fox symbol with his hands. I didn't notice that.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
cool. It's really one of my favorite things. Like, it's a fun hand signal to make. Is how he lines it up and then kon, and the devil just eats whatever's in that hand motion, right? At this point, we see more members of Public Safety Division 4, the division that Aki, Denji, and Power are a part of here. Right, we meet some of these characters, some fan favorites, right? Ones that we will all get to know throughout the series. We got 4 of them there. Aki, another person named Hilmeno, one named Kobeni, and the other one, who I don't remember their name. I wonder why.
We got 2 shots of the best girl in this series.
2 shots of the best girl in the series. If you don't know who he's talking about, I will not say anything.
I do not know what you're talking about.
It's Kobeni. She's the best.
Yeah, you'll see.
I don't know nothing about Chainsaw Man.
You'll find out later.
Yeah.
I can't wait then.
She has a car, I'll say that much. That's funny. Later on, Kobeni has this car, and it is one of the most popular characters in the series.
Kobeni's car is one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Car?
Yes.
We'll get to it later, right? And at this point, we see Public Safety here, and Aki's like, all right, round up all the devils, clean everything up, right? And Power's like, hey, what about my cat? And he's like, all right, we'll send the cat to the hospital, right? At this point, we cut to the hospital where Denji's laying in bed, right? Aki is sitting there beside him, and he talks to Denji, and he's like, hey, you've been out for a little while. Here's what's gone on. We found your arm. It reattached a simple blood transfusion. You really are like a devil, right? And while he's saying this, Denji's like, you were pretty friendly with a devil back there. You used that thing. And this is where we learned of the Fox Devil and what a contract is. The main sort of power system of this series, right? Devil hunters make contracts with devils. They give up a part of them in a way to unlock this power of this devil, allowing them to be used.
Yeah, I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's a very cool concept of, especially something like, I'll give this to me, give me some of you, right? Like we see that choose the Fox Devil. It took some of Aki's skin, right?
It's very similar to a Fullmetal Alchemist with the alchemy system.
Is it?
Equivalent exchange.
Because whenever he uses his alchemy to make something, he has to draw upon it from the world around him. So he has to use resources around him to make things.
Interesting. So pretty much at this point, Aki explains what he knows happened. Him and Power went out to do something. Power tried to get Denji, right? And he also cuts back to his mind when all of these people were thanking Denji, right? For just like him telling him to run out of the way and move and do all of this stuff, and like the one guy who he threw at the car, right? Everybody's like, he may be an asshole, but we want to say thank you, right? He helped save us in a way.
Something I noticed is that these were all a bunch of still images with a little bit of a filter on them.
They were visual novels.
Which is a little cheap, but I can forgive it for the good fight scene.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they literally look like a visual novel image.
Yeah, they were very much
like they look like my Digimon Survive got animated.
Yep.
I love Digimon Survive. Digimon's great.
Anyways.
So pretty much, Aki's like, you two at this rate will be exterminated. If I go up to Makima and tell her what's happened, like we know it's happened, you two will no longer be of this living earth, right? And Aki's like, but I'll willing to let slide this once, but you just gotta tell me you're gonna do what I say. I've got experience in this field. You don't. You listen to me, you survive. You don't listen to me, you dive, right? And at this point, Denji's like, sure, man, I'll do it. I've got to I want to keep this lifestyle that I've got going, so I'll play your games.
Yep.
Right? And at this point, Aki's like, fine then, right? So he walks out and Power's outside with Himeno in handcuffs, and he lets Power go after this, right? At this point, he goes to the public safety office, right, and talks with Makima, and pretty much breaks the truth a little bit to make sure that Power and Denji sort of survive. And Makima makes a note about how Aki's gone soft and sort of relates that to maybe being Denji's influence as a whole, right? At this point, we cut to the next day and we get a bunch of shots of Aki just going through his daily life, brushing his teeth, doing his coffee, right, combing his hair, right? And we just see Denji and Aki just going through their day, right? Aki's doing laundry, making lunch, right? Denji's just lounging around, not really doing much of anything, right?
One thing I noticed is, real quick, the opening scene looks like a slice of life opening on an apartment building, an apartment complex, and the whole slice of life sequence feels like a Makoto Shinkai movie. Your Name, Weathering with You, the Garden of Words, they all have these like silent scenes where they're just cooking things or doing mundane activities.
What? Oh, that's definitely, who knows? Knowing how this series is, that could be a reference for all we know.
It probably is.
Knowing how Fujimoto likes all this stuff and does it, very well could be a reference,
Because
right?
if any of y'all have seen Weathering with You, there's a scene where there's just like 5 minutes of them just cooking. That's all it is.
I mean, I think this scene is really good for stuff that happens on later in the series, right? I think this scene goes a lot to show who these characters are in a little bit of a way, right? But going back to the action, Denji and Aki are messing around as all of a sudden there's a very loud knocking on their door, right? As who would be there to stay at their house but Power?
Yep.
Right? She breaks down the door, kicks it in, right? Takes out the doorknob, chucks it at him, right? And we learn through a phone call from Makima that Aki's having, right? We learn that Power will be staying there, and Aki's like, why do I got to deal with all the damn devils, right? And Makima pretty much says that she knows Aki can handle it, right? And Aki gets a little, ooh, she likes me.
Yep.
Right? Pretty much Power and Denji are just having disagreements, right? Two chaotic forces just meeting each other, making the ultimate chaos. Right, Power is throwing all of her vegetables, right? She doesn't flush the toilet. She doesn't shower.
Typical Discord mod.
Yeah, pretty much. Reddit
Hey, Caleb here's the Discord mod for the Discord
I don't want to
server.
be a Discord mod.
Oh no, we need to run.
Don't worry, I'm not 300 pounds.
Alright.
Right, and pretty much they're all just having massive disagreements, and Aki and Denji are united in this front to get her out of here. Right? We cut to later where Denji is plunging the toilet, right, just doing his thing. As Power walks up, Denji makes a remark that she is the shit devil.
Kuso no Akuma. That was a very good one.
Right, and pretty much Denji's standing there and like, what, are you gonna say anything? As Power makes the same motions that Denji did earlier, pointing towards her breast and making the squeezing motion with her hand, right? And at this point, Power's like, come on, you can commence your fondling, right? And she walks over, sits on the toilet, and this is like very suggestive, right?
Oh yeah, they really hype it up.
And she's like moving around her breast, like, come on, you get a squeeze, right? And she says that Denji will get 3 squeezes. One for saving the alley, one for killing the Bat Devil, and one for saving her from Aki. Right? And at this point, she's like, alright, you can squeeze gratefully. Right? And at this point, Denji's just like, she's an angel.
Yep.
Right? As we get the ending theme, which is Tablet by Taboo.
Now, hold on, Corbin.
What?
We skipped something.
What did we skip?
They skipped a scene in the manga, that being Power's feet. And they completely cut it out. Now, I get that it's widescreen and manga panels can be any shape they want, but no excuses, man. If they did it for Dress Up Darling, they can do it for this. I think they actually cut it in Dress Up Darling as well. During the measuring scene. Pretty sure they did.
The series sucks anyway, I don't care.
Damn Animation Studios. Anyways.
Damn Mappa, the worst thing they ever done.
I have 5 notes for this ending, which is more than half my notes.
Yeah. So the ending is pretty much all about Power, right? Again, it's Tablet by Taboo, right? It's all, like sort of just Power doing things like dressing up and stuff, right? It's a very Power ending. It's the most I can say about it, right? A good song, really good animation. It really looks like Lost in Paradise or some other themes from recent series, right?
It's very marketable. I always say that because they have all these costumes. They could make 1 billion figures out of them, right?
I mean, you've got Power in like a police uniform, teacher uniform, Chinese traditional dress, maid outfit, right?
Mappa has to have a dance choreography person, like for Lost in Paradise. Who knows what else? But everybody loves dance scenes because they could recreate them. Cosplayers are gonna go wild with it, and it honestly sounded like Splatoon music.
I can see that. I think it's a very good opening. I do think I think it's really good animation that works with this ending, right? Like, I don't know if I think I like Lost in Paradise a bit more as like a dance ending from Mappa, right? I just think it's really fun. But this was a good ending.
It's my favorite ending so far.
I still, in terms of songs, I haven't really listened to it but twice. But I would say this one is probably 3rd. Right? I still think Chainsaw Blood and Time Left are a bit better. But that's the episode. What did you think about it, Caleb?
It was good. That's what I have to say about it.
I mean, do you have anything else to add besides what we've said already?
Not really.
I will again say the sound design is great.
Sound design's great.
Oh,
animation.
Yeah.
And I think there's no bad animation, right? And really the only other thing I want to talk about is the changes from the manga. Right, so of course Jaden's very upset about defeat.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
But
typical Jaden
it really flows perfectly like it does throughout the rest of the series, right? It progresses through each moment as it did. Of course, there's the extended Leech Devil fight, right? But overall, it is very good, right? Where it deviates is right after in the hospital where Power is let go, right? What happens next is whenever Aki goes to Makima, that is not in the manga, and also the whole entire slice of life thing's not in the manga, right? It literally looking at the panels here, it is literally Aki frees Power in the hospital there, right? Straight cut to Power being let into the house, right? There's no knocking on the door or anything like that. It's literally just a transition from hospital to the house, not all of this stuff with Aki that we get with it, right? Aki's my favorite character, so I'm not complaining, right? I like how we sort of see that he is sort of bending this truth to keep these 2 devils alive, right? Sort of shows a bit into his character, which of course will come out later. And just all the things with Aki just doing his daily life and Denji doing his stuff. I think it just works really well in general to make something good. It's a good extra scene, like the Tai scene a few chapters ago, right? They removed the Muscle Devil fight, but I think these changes really work in the scope of the episode.
Another thing I noticed, Makima does the Gendo pose from Evangelion, where she sits menacingly, which has become a very common anime trope because of it. So I'm sure that's a reference as well.
At this point, it's everything in the series could be a reference.
Yeah.
And it's probably not. It's probably just what she will do. But yeah. So
one more thing. Anybody listening, if y'all know what 76.1 on Power's shirt means, let us know. Because I think it's like an FM station radio in Japan that maybe the author likes. That's all I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people have looked into it, and if they haven't, there's like been an answer put out there. I don't know, but I don't know. It's 76.1. It's just randomly there on Power's shirt.
Yep.
I don't know. Whenever she points to her chest and does a squeeze motion, is it supposed to represent that?
I don't know.
Well, okay. Here's another thing I would say, but that would be very spoilery, so I'm not going to say it with somebody who's not even experienced the series here.
Okay.
So I'll tell you later, Jaden, since you won't really care to be spoiled at this point.
One thing to note: over the past week, I did read all of Chainsaw Man, so in hindsight, I can watch these episodes. And
Do you think the Aki scene that was added is good?
yeah, I think it was fine.
Yeah.
But I don't like Chainsaw Man that much. I'll be completely honest with you. But this was a good episode.
No, I think this is a very good episode. Good animation, good sound design, good progression of the plot, and I think. Do we have anything else we want to say?
I mean, so far, my experience with the anime has been much more positive than the manga. So I'm hoping that the anime's changes and additions and pacing helps the story.
I think it will.
Because I think the pacing of the manga is terrible.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough. Again, this has been Chainsaw Man episode 4, titled Rescue. Chapters that are covered were 9 and then a bit into 12, right? Not really far into 12. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
what's everybody's ratings before we end?
Ratings? I didn't plan a rating.
7.5.
7.5. Sure, I'll do 7.5. Caleb?
I don't really know. I guess 7.5. I don't know.
Alright, 7.5 all around.
It's alright.
That was quite agreeable.
I mean, alright, next time we'll have ratings planned.
Alright.
Again, so we'll see you next time. This has been Corbin, Caleb, and Jaden out.
Yep,
We'll see you
see you
next
guys.
time. Glowplasma231 out.